Hi everyone. Shoot, I was hoping I could introduce you to my cat. You all have such wonderful and talented pets and parents and siblings, and I saw that in your Google Slides this past week in the gradual transfer of responsibility. So yeah, I was trying to catch my cat so I could introduce you to her, but she's a brat and she ran away, and so we'll just save that for next time. Anyway, this is week 3, and I hope you are all doing very well. Hopefully this whole online learning thing is growing on you and seeming a little less overwhelming week by week as we get into it a bit more. I know I thoroughly enjoyed planning the learning guide for this week, and educational technology is one of my favorite topics, along with immigration and topics such as that and foreign language learning and so forth. But anyway, enjoy the resources that I put on the learning guide. There's probably way more than you need for this week, but hopefully it will take you into the future a bit as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoy exploring. I want to share with you a passage that I came across this week that just gave me a lot of hope, because I definitely have my joyful up days, and then I have my days where I'm just anxious and wondering when this is all going to end, and just not really liking the situation that we're in right now. Especially, you know, I was fortunate we're not a shelter-in-place state. I know most of you are probably feeling more cooped up than those of us in Iowa, but still there's that sense of worry and wanting this to be over and wanting to get life back to normal. So when I came across the words of Psalm 130, they just really were special to me and meant a lot. So I just want to share those with you a second. So Psalm 130 starts out with saying, "Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. O Lord, hear my cry. Let your ears be attentive to my cry for mercy." So I know many of you too are just praying that the whole coronavirus thing will pass, that the curve will flatten, that the people will be healed, that the virus won't spread. And so just having that hope to know that the Lord is attentive to our cries and to our prayers. And then it goes on to say, "And I wait for the Lord, my soul waits. And in his word I put my hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than watchmen wait for the morning, more than watchmen wait for the morning. O Israel, put your hope in the Lord, for with the Lord is unfailing love." So that sense of waiting, and we wait with expectation. We know that things will get better, this will come to an end, life will get back to normal again. So just keep those words in mind as we all wait. All right, I just want to transition then to our learning guide. And while we're waiting, of course, we don't just wait idly. We keep equipping and preparing ourselves and moving forward. So hopefully this week will help you do that in terms of your calling as a teacher. And also, this fits so nicely with this period of waiting that we're in right now, because we're all learning how to use technology in new ways. We're learning to communicate virtually and online rather than face-to-face. And so we can take the situation that we're in and we can use it as part of that equipping and that preparation process. So I hope you can see it in a positive light in that way. Okay, thank you everyone who are adding prayer requests to our list, and please remember to pray and to praise along with the people that are posting. We have a wonderful answer that Celeste is mentioning, and Cheney has put one on for his brother, and also one from Peyton out in Idaho, praising God that his family and also just the people in that area were protected in the earthquake that they had this past week. But yeah, just please keep adding to that. We appreciate that, and we will continue to remember each other in prayer. Okay, I haven't modified the outline any more than I had last week, so I won't spend much time there. Just go ahead and take a look at that modified course outline. but here we are in week 3. Our topic for the week is educational technology. I've linked 3 articles that I'd like you to read. They come at this topic from 3 different perspectives, really, and so that's why I've specifically chosen them. One is by Mark Prinsky, who's a recognized, we'll call him an expert in this area. He's written a lot on this topic. Another by Lowell Monk, who takes a very different stance to how and when and how much to use educational technology. And then another author, Rosie Pereira, who writes from a distinctly Christian perspective on the topic. So I'd like you to read all 3 and then choose one that you especially resonate with, okay? And I'm going to have you work with a team of people in our classes that you can explore this article at a deeper level. So once you choose that article that you want to dig into a little deeper, I want you to sign up for a team on this Google Doc that's linked here. Okay, so it's going to be 3 or 4 people on each team. If the team has 4 people, move to another team. We want to try to fill up all of these teams, 6 teams for each group, as much as possible. Okay, so once you've chosen the teams, and I'd like you to do that right away in the beginning of the week so that your team can start to collaborate and get started on this project. Okay, underneath your team name, you're going to find a Google Doc that's linked, and this will be just for the 3 or 4 of you that are in a team together. Okay, you're going to discuss the article and take note of these 4 different views. Okay, this is called a perspectival protocol. So the first view is the author's view, like what is the argument, what is the thesis of the article, what does the author want you to know about educational technology. Then what is your view? Compare that with the author's. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your reaction? That kind of thing. There's some question prompts there to kind of lead your discussion. How does the field of education view the author? You know, take Mark Prinsky for instance. He's highly regarded in the field of education. He's written a ton of stuff. Like if you say the name Mark Prinsky, people know that we're going to probably be talking about educational technology. So, you know, consider that with Lowell Monk as an author. Who is he in the field of education? Rosie Pereira. What is she known for? So you're going to probably have to dig a little bit, maybe Google their names, look for what else they've written, do a little bio on the author. This is part of the discernment process. Okay, moving forward, as you guys are doing research in the field of education, as you're, you know, even like with your co-teaching presentations, as you're picking your resources to present to the rest of the class, like what kind of resources are you gathering? Are they good quality resources by, you know, written by people that are well known in the field or contributed a lot, or are they just kind of by no-name people or something you grabbed off of Pinterest, that kind of thing? So this is part of this discernment process of how we're using our resources and which resources we're choosing, okay? The synthesis view is connections to other topics within education that maybe this correlates with or connects with. Maybe it leads you to want to read something more on the topic or, you know, along the same lines. Sometimes when you look at the end of an article and there's a works cited page and you read kind of, you know, who the authors cited in their writing, it might lead you to say, hey, I want to read that too. This looks really interesting. So consider that as you're reading the articles and, you know, the rabbit trail perhaps of what it leads you down, how it kind of encourages you to extend your learning, okay? So that is the perspectival protocol. Every team will have its own unique Google Doc to fill out. Make sure you somehow note who contributed what. Okay, so put your name by what you wrote or color code in some way so we know that everybody added to it. All right. And then at the end, you will simply upload the link, the Google link, to the Canvas assignment. There's a discussion board for you guys in number 4. This is for you to explore tech tools on your own. I encourage you to spend at least an hour just looking at different tech tools, new tech tools, stuff you didn't know already. So I've included some resources. Here's a slideshow that I grabbed from a Google Summit recently with just tons of examples of different add-ons that you can use with Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and so forth. So you can look through this slideshow for ideas. I would encourage you to look at the teacher education site with Google. You can actually become a Google certified educator, and there's like some learning modules that you can work through and then take a test at the end, and you get like this official certification from Google saying that you're a Google educator. So think about that maybe as a possibility for, over the course of the next few years. What would that look like if by the end of your program, when you graduate with an education major and you're applying for jobs, how cool would that be to have like Google Educator on your resume? So consider that. Maybe look at the resources they have there. These are a couple of graphics that have a whole bunch of other tools. These are recent, current tools, so maybe some that you might want to just dig into a little bit deeper and do a little research and find out what they're all about. So on this discussion board, and we're actually not going to discuss back and forth, but I want you to throw your ideas here. Name your tool, describe it, tell us how you think you would use it someday in your own specific grade level or subject area that you hope to teach, and include a link or a tutorial that we can refer to if we want to know more. Like we can go to that website and learn more about that tool. So that is one of the activities I'd like you to do before Friday. Kind of a bonus challenge. If you would like to, if you're up for the challenge, make a screencast of yourself using this tool that I'm using, Screencast-O-Matic, demonstrating that tool that you think is cool, okay? And then upload that screencast to YouTube, kind of like what I've been doing with these weekly welcomes, and include that link in your discussion board post. So that's optional. However, Education 203 folks, take note of this. I am going to do this. This is what I'm going to require of you later on for that project that we do at the end of the semester. It's called the technology demonstration. So this is what we're going to do. So if you want to get a jump on that and try it here and then use that same video for that project later on, I invite you to do that. Okay, here's a Padlet where I'd like you to include stickies that have the name of a tool that are currently being utilized in classrooms. So ask a teacher or think about your observations, or maybe if you're a freshman, you can think back to high school, but not much earlier than that, right? Because tools become obsolete very quickly. So I would like you to do at least one sticky and make them different, right? I don't want like 10 stickies on Padlet or 10 stickies on, any given tool, Prezi, something like that. So try to make each sticky having a different tool on it. Okay, and I think last of all, if you have not already signed up for your co-teaching project, please do that this week so that you can be thinking about it, right? And you can start to prepare. After this unit, I'm not going to present any more content. We're just going to work with what we have. We're going to do our co-teaching projects and write our implementation plans and so forth. So here we have a few people are signing up already in one of the groups, and so continue to do that. If we can get at least, or 2 people for each if we can have 2 people on a topic, that would be great. If people are kind of dividing up and signing up for individual topics, I'll probably combine some of the topics that are similar so you have that that opportunity to collaborate online in order to create this presentation. And we'll talk about possible presentation tools next week. Note the yellow highlighted topics. These are all constructivist pedagogies. So we had constructivism last week. These are all specific methods of teaching in a constructivistic way. So maybe that's something you want to dig in a little bit deeper. You guys watched the video on project-based learning and you had an article on that as well, but here's a variety of others as well. So think about that if you want to know more about constructivism. All right. If you have time, you can work on your implementation plan. Not saying you have to, it's not due till exam week, but maybe you're finding a little extra time in your week. I kind of doubt it, but just in case it's there. And please schedule an appointment with me or show up for office hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Just come and go as you want. I'd love to see everyone by the 13th. If you haven't already seen me, sign up in the next few days.